Pisces, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in this story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really makes a difference to my channel, and I would love to see my channel continue to grow. That's how you can help me make that happen. All right, let's see what's going on for all my fishies. Grateful, thankful. Listen, when I first sat down here to do your reading, I got don't be foolish, all right? So if you're going to do something that you know you shouldn't do, don't be foolish has come through, all right? So I just got to put that out there for some Pisces out there. Do not be foolish. But let's see what the tarot has to say to all of my fishes. Let's see, we got the Queen of Pentacles coming out reversed to the Page of Wands. Now, you may be dealing with someone who delivers some news that you don't want to hear. All right, I just feel like there is someone here is not very happy, not feeling very confident, not feeling very secure, not being very stable. And I feel like this week, they might actually let you know that, there's something really bothering them. Now, in the recent past, we do have the Ace of Wands. So you may have started something with someone or something that, you really, want to get passionate about. I mean, there's a lot of passion with this, but I just feel like you aren't moving on it. Maybe you have a lot of ideas. Maybe you have a lot of thoughts, but I just get the sense that, it's really great in your head, but when it comes to applying it into reality, this is where you get a little hung up because we do have the Knight of Pentacles coming in here reversed. This is you needing to do the work, and if this is in a relationship, you need to do the work, all right? I mean, you can't just have the sex and not have the work in a relationship. You need to do the work. That's what the Knight of Pentacles says. And it's just like, if you want to have a good outcome, then you need to apply yourself. And in order to do that, you may need to open up, and in opening up, you might need to be a little vulnerable, so I'm just feeling like if somebody has some concerns that they express to you and they make you feel, a little uncomfortable, I think it's because they want to see you do the work. Here with this Four of Pentacles coming in reversed, they want you to open up, they want you to, be present, and whatever it is that is bothering them. There could be some money issues that are coming up, and maybe you're being a little bit stingy. Maybe you're not working, and they're like, I need you to make some money. We need to figure out how are we going to pay the bills, because this Queen of Pentacles, when she shows up reversed, there's this insecurity of the material world. It's like, am I going to be able to pay the bills this month? Are we going to be able to make ends meet? Are we going to pay the rent? Are we going to pay the mortgage? And if you're not working and you're not applying yourself, or you're not going to invest into what needs to be done to be taken care of around the house, then I think you're going to hear some, trouble from your person. So just know that, that there is that kind of energy that is brewing. So, what do they say? Happy wife, happy life. I think, if we have happy energy between the two of us, then everybody's going to be happy. And look, we've got the victory card here in the near future. So even though you may not like what you hear, even though you may not like what you might need to do, if you apply yourself, I do feel like things can turn around. But if you don't apply yourself, then I feel like that's where you're going to get yourself into some trouble. Now, you're dealing with someone or a situation, where I think, you have given it a lot of opportunity, a lot of chances. When we have the Nine of Wands, especially it's showing up reversed, we're at that point where we don't want to try anymore. So you may be dealing with someone who doesn't want to try anymore. You may not want to try anymore to make something work. Because I'm just sensing that there is this real disconnect between you and a person, all right? And you cannot pretend anymore that, it's working. Because here we have this Four of Wands coming in reversed. We have these two people. It could be two women, two men, it could be anybody. The two people, the person you are dealing with, all right? There is a real disconnect, and I think you're starting to feel even the bond is kind of disappearing. because this is a very bonded connection you have with someone, and you're not feeling that bond anymore. So I do feel like, you know, you got to quit talking about things, all right? And you got to quit doing things that are foolish. Like at the very beginning, don't do something foolish. You know, just kind of, you know, get a little bit more grounded. And I think for a lot of Pisces, you know, to being out there and being wishy-washy is very natural. But, you know, this energy is asking you to ground into what is really going on before you lose everything. All right, we do have the Knight of Wands, the King of Wands coming in here reversed as a final outcome. And again, it's just like, quit talking about it. I mean, quit trying to do things, you know, that beat around the bush. You know, quit trying to make promises that you know you're not going to keep. This is about doing the work. And Pisces, I feel like if you really want to be happy, if you want things to work out, you have got to do the work. Let's look at what's at the bottom of the deck. We do have the Fool card coming in here. I do like that, you know, because it indicates that we can end a cycle, you know, and start fresh, all right? And here again, we have this new beginning that wants to emerge. I mean, there's something there that, you know, I think is worth saving, but it's not going to happen if you don't change, if you don't find yourself doing the work that needs to be done. Things are not going to magically change. You have to apply yourself. And the one constant we do have is change. But do you want change for the better, or do you want change for the worse? This is on you. If you don't do the work, then I feel what's going to end up happening, you're not going to get the outcome that you want. And I do feel as if there is this need, you know, for, you know, happiness to come back in, to everybody to feel good, to reconnect. But again, Pisces, you can't just keep talking in circles. And here we have the Eight of Wands underneath this, you know, energy of the Fool. It's just like, you can't keep, you know, hiding the truth, all right? This Four of Pentacles says you need to open up, all right? And you need to start verbalizing what it is that you want, especially if you want a new beginning. But you've got to be really honest and seriously, you've got to quit talking in circles, because I just feel like you talk a lot, you promise a lot, you know, you're going to do this, I'm going to make the change, but then it never happens. And then this King of Wands, what they end up doing is, you know, finding pleasure and happiness in other places. All right, so it's just like, it's time to ground into, what do you really want? Do you really want things to work out? Do you really want to be happy here? Or do you want to continue going in this vein that you've been going on? And again, you know, I want to go back to the very first message, which is, do not be foolish. All right, don't throw something away that is worth saving. Don't go doing something that you know is going to lead you down a road that you wish you never started. And you have an opportunity for a brand new beginning. There is something there that can still be salvaged, but it's up to you to do the work. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Pisces. Please take what works, leave what doesn't, and don't forget to do the work, all right? With that being said, be happy, be healthy, be kind. Hit that like button. I'll see you at another reading. Until then, be well. Bye now.